What's up, people? This is your boy Gerald. It is Wednesday, June 6th, 2016. How is everybody doing? So, y'all, you're in the middle of your week. Actually, in about 15 minutes, of, you'll be rolling into Thursday. And there's been a lot of activity going on. I know a lot of y'all are looking at what's been put out in the media the last 48 hours, as well as a whole, you're starting to actually get back on your rhythm. Because some of you had a great 4th of July weekend, and some of you just recently popped the last firework. You're back at work, you're back at the grind, and it's all about business now, isn't it? Well, I'm putting this video out for a couple reasons. Because I'm going to pick my words. You know how they say truth you're able to see truth when you grind your feet because it's there the whole time. And lately we've seen how many of the agendas that were not talked about are being brought to the surface. For one, we ushered into an era where now the United States military are going to start recruiting for transgender recruits. I'll be honest, y'all. I never thought in a million years that would be the case. But then it made me think. Well, our beloved president did sign the executive order to honor or open the door for same-sex marriages in his administration. But I've also noticed that the last couple of years, more and more people are being open to their lifestyles. Once what was embraced through discretion, now there's been a fire lit and it's being put right in your face. Now, I'm a firm believer we all must take accountability for the choices that we make. And there's a responsibility to those choices that we make. But I also understand that this also removes excuses because for every choice that we make, there's going to be a cause and effect in the intended time. So, one thing you cannot say, and that's how long and when did that conversation begin? Because everything has been progressive these last 8 years. But that doesn't surprise me either. Another thing that I've noticed lately is that now more than ever, the condemning of belief systems such as your spirituality. Seeing more and more people build platforms to denounce the right to believe in someone, something greater than yourself. And there was a survey that said now more important, now more than ever, our children are being programmed. Now more than ever, it said, I think the survey was like 1 in 3 do not have a religious, I don't even like using the term religious, do not have a spiritual connection because it was not embraced in their environment, in their home. So you can't get mad at the child for not knowing if the environment was not consistent. Because a child's only going to do what they're exposed to. They're living constant. Whatever the environment is, they are going to mimic and then embrace. This is also going to select, this is also what's going to make up your perceptions and how you see the world too. May it be good or bad. But now, more than ever, we're starting to see more and more people become very vocal in regards to denounce God. I turn around and when I see blatant disrespect, I say to myself, I pray and like, I understand, Lord, why you said, Lord, they know not what they do. Because anyone that knows this is acts of blasphemy, and it seems more and more we are truly embracing what Sodom and Gomorrah was. The more and more we embrace the advancement of technology, the more and more it seems morally we take a step back. So, yeah, the makings of the last days, we're doing a good job at it. We are. But do I have optimism? Yes. Do I believe that God can make a way when there is no way? Yes. Does it have an impact on my belief that He is a great I am? No. Because see, I'm a spiritual man. So I have a connection with God. I can be vulnerable in my true state because I live transparent. What you see is what you get. But more importantly, I know my worth. I love myself. And I also know that I have a whole lot of work in a short period of time. And that's what makes my purpose. So everything that I do is not out of vain. I do it for yourself. I do it for you. hmm I do it for every person that may be in a rough spot, that may be contemplating on should I go back or should I go forward, who may be wrestling with is this a need or is this a want? I do this for you. Because, see, I see your worth. I told you this from day one. This wasn't a catchphrase. You deserve to be happy. But I also know that we all must carry our own our own bag. And the load is only going to get heavier until you decide to ground your feet. It is no secret, y'all, that our society is becoming more and more ultra sexual. That's part of the grand scheme. Because, see, I also understand the devil wants you so that the devil can really run shot in your life, to destroy your life, to distract your life. He needs you to self defile yourself. You see, you got to understand something. The devil cannot, he can only be a deterrent of your direction. He can only delay it the moment you sign off on it. So that's why you may be seeing what you're seeing now. You may be plateauing from a behavior that you once had. There may have been people that you had thought that will be there from the test of time, only to look around and you realize that these people never had your best interest. The only interest they had was bidding off of you. Who am I talking to? But see, the devil's a liar, y'all. He needs you to give up on yourself. He wants you to make that choice that will set you back 10 steps, even though the fortitude that is found in you will break off that next rough edge. He doesn't want you to tap into that courage that's already there. He wants you to stay with that group that every time you come around, there's going to be some drama. And that's one thing I've realized about people that embrace drama. They look for drama. These people are tormented inside. So misery requires company. So therefore, you can't grow. Because if you decide to commit to yourself, they can't risk you evolving. So they want to keep you shackled to your burdens. And I think a lot of y'all are seeing that now. You're questioning the loyalty that you have with those that you call friends. Well, I say this to you. Would a friend tell you something that is not in your best interest? Would a friend put you in a position of harm at their benefit? Would a friend knowingly speak their truth, but it is not yours? And would a friend make a willful choice to betray you for a social gain? A friend won't do that. A friend is far and few between, y'all. You're only going to have a select few. Everybody else that you come in contact with are nothing but illustrations of insight and wisdom the moment that you decide to take accountability and take your life back. But see, I also know that some people may have adapted this mindset of, Gerald, I've made decisions that I can't get myself out of. And you're right, you can't get yourself out of it yet, but you can for the moment. You should have that conversation with him. See, I've come to learn the same people that do all this don't have a relationship with him. Because if they did, they would watch the words that come out of their mouths. They would walk in fear of retribution. Because only he knows the time and the place when your last breath is going to be exchanged. Just as well as he knows every hair follicle that's found on your body. Just as he knows the end direction that your feet will come to rest. But see, society. It's got an agenda. And you know I say this out of love, y'all. Come on, Queens. Why is it that what you focus on, you take in media every day? Some is social programming that it will not register and is subconsciously placed in your psyche, only to be revealed and understood in the intended time. That's why symbolism, such as pictures, numbers, have effect. Why? Because they know that if they can influence that, they can control this. That's why you will have to come to a place to understand you are a spiritual being first. This is nothing but a means of transition on this earthly realm. But if you listen to what you see on the screen and do not allow your discernment to serve as a spiritual compass to filter what is being presented, you will, unfortunately, like so many people, go through a media overload. Have so much information coming to you. That's not your walk. Never was. Never will be. Why? Because the person that you're intended to be is blessed. So let's go to the title. Because I know y'all wonder, well, Joe, why you put that title there? Because it's a true reference of where we are today. We have 50% of people on the planet that are distracted. And then there are 50% of the people on this planet that are on point. I can use a metaphor of the haves and the have-nots. That's how wisdom is, y'all. We attract what is found inside us. So therefore, if it's inside us, guess what? It's our responsibility to embrace or let go of the things we do not need, which means you are required to be courageous. It's not your responsibility to do it for them. It's your responsibility to do it for you because if you don't have yourself together, you can't have their stuff together. And maybe that's the reason why they're walking with you to begin, because they know that as long as you stay distracted, you won't see what you need and you will settle for what you want. I know I'm talking to someone. And the real question that should be asked is why? You think that you're supposed to spend your life, this is your life, what you're going through right now? It's an illusion. It's an illusion that you willfully are choosing to embrace. But what does your heart say? What does your spirit tell you? You know that little boy and little girl that lives inside you. What do they tell you? Because a little boy and a little girl that lives inside you will always have your best interest. But it's free will if you decide to listen. You think you were supposed to be the person to be today's punching bag? I know I'm talking to somebody. And he keeps on giving you excuses saying that will be the last time that'll happen. Well, you don't work for Everlast. And if you're in a relationship where it is physically challenging, or you feeling that you are you're being oppressed, well, guess what? That's a choice that you made. Just like there was a choice to stand with them. Now, I'm not saying this to show shade. No, I ain't got time for that. I'm just pointing out what you really need. It should never come to the point that you are doing this to look at what your smile looks like because you haven't seen it in quite some time. How about a good night's rest? How about peace of mind? Peace of mind should not be what you see on a movie and that inspires you. It's something that is embraced in you because the moment that you took your first breath, everything that you needed was placed there. Why? Because God made you perfect. He didn't make a mistake when He created you. But it's our responsibilities as spiritual beings, part of mankind or the human race, to evolve so that the best you not only can be embraced, but valued. So, does it surprise you now? So many people are settling because of an opportunity presented. Y'all need to learn to use that word no, because the word no does not mean forever. It means under review. If it is not of your standard, why do you accept it? But if you're not speaking your truth, you will never know the difference. I know I'm talking to someone. You actually think you're supposed to be laying there right now? But every day you wake up and convince yourself in that mirror, it'll be better this time. No, it won't. It's going to get worse. hmm Because that's not where you were supposed to be to begin with. But see, that's what pride does. And a prideful person never lives the life intended. They settle. You might as well be that little lapdog during dinner and you're accepting crumbs. I'm just saying this because you need to hear it. But see, I know some of y'all feel this way too. Some of y'all think you're winning, but the only thing that you're really winning is time delayed. But you know what time delayed is really? Because what happens with the time delayed becomes a price paid. Because clarity always comes after disappointment, after denial, after regret. And I started to notice something a little deeper. Not only socially does society want you to be distracted from yourself, but society wants you to burn yourself out like a candle in the wind too. That's why you're seeing so much dialogue. That's why you're seeing so much underlining and subliminal uh, information being put out by all streams of media. Why? Because what's at stake is you. And see, that devil don't want you to find you because the real you is blessed, but it is not given. It is earned through fortitude and commitment to yourself. So ask yourself this: if you're not happy, why are you there? What is it about them that you cannot see what's best? How about admitting that maybe you were wrong? No, you were wrong, but for somehow they convinced you to keep on going. But haven't you noticed the more you keep down that path, the more painful it gets? How's your money these days? I know I'm talking to somebody. Ever since you got with them, your money ain't been right. And it's literally cost you. But see, we're living in this fairy tale mentality where a lot of women have this ideology that one day my prince will come and he will rescue me and whisk me away to that castle. But does that castle have bars on it? Does that castle have confusion in it? Does that castle have uneasiness in it? See, you shouldn't be living your life like it's a lease to own and now is contract negotiation once again. No. So the question I'm asking each and every one of you is what's keeping you from having that conversation with him? Because see, it's not his responsibility to seek you. It's your responsibility to seek him. And I guarantee you, when you finally have that conversation with him, that's why he told you come as you are. He don't care about what's hanging in that closet. How about them bags behind them clothes? I know I'm talking to somebody. So let's get back to the point. What's at stake will be your happiness, your end story, which we know is your testimony, your legacy. So you can't find that in a stolen moment, but yet far many times people continue to pay in dividends that only result in more disappointment. I know if you can get back yesterday, you would. But don't beat yourself up because, see, we as people, there will never be as much criticizing or critique done by someone else than you could on yourself. Maybe that's the reason why you silently are doing time in your mind and you're saying, I hear these voices. I can't make these voices stop. See, what's going on is see, you're going through anxiety and you're really setting yourself up for a panic attack. And if it persists, you're gonna you're gonna have an emotional breakdown. And maybe that's really your breakthrough because that will give you the clarity of letting you see who genuinely loves you, who wants to see you smile again, who wants for you to make your dreams a reality, not something to wish for, but something to become. Because, see, those are seeds that you've got to plant. Nobody can do the work, you have to do it. The factor is when you decide to do it. That's why I tell you, Kings, your responsibility comes with your last name because you hold the legacy. You're male. She can't produce your children without you there. But we live in a society where you have so much negativity, and it's always negativity that's never spoken, it's always suppressed. That's why you have feminist movements that are very vocal nowadays. But we also know that those who march under that banner They have a deep loathing and resentment against you. They hate men because someone failed them. A lot of times it's their father not being there, and the responsibility of the effect is because they chose to go out there and find a man. Queens, the man of your dreams is going to be a spiritual man. He's going to have the key that is going to unlock the other side of your life. He's the protector of your heart. That alone, you should stop and ground yourself because what's at stake is your peace of mind. You won't fully know the real you until you commit to you first. But I understand deep down inside, you long to be loved. You want to feel emotionally safe and you want to be validated too. And there's nothing wrong with that in the intended time and moment. Why would I give you the reward when you have not done the work? That's why stolen moments are exactly that. They steal time by adding delay. How about depression? Think about it. You realize how many sociopathic and schizophrenic people are walking on this planet now because of the fact that they have a diluted perception of what their world is about. But in actuality, if they just stop and took stock or self inventory of where they are now, they could actually see not only the commonality of the role that they played, but they could also see the roles and the people that played them. But see, I understand this too. It would require vulnerability for you to admit that to yourself. See, you don't have to do it for your audience or those who have access for you. Because, see, at the end of the day, it's not their lives. They're actually benefiting from the state of mind that you have at this moment. So, if you're in a position where all you're doing is attracting what you don't need, well, why don't you look inside and cut that beacon off? Because that's what they're drawn to. Haven't you noticed the only thing that changes is the face? You're seeing it for a reason. But most people will not have the courage to admit that to themselves. And they will just simply play their position. You're not supposed to play a position, y'all. You're an experience in your own because you are living. So that there, right there, should show you how valuable, how priceless your life is. Why would you give credit to someone who hasn't earned the right to have credit? How about even hear you breathe? But people do it. Mhm. Some people go their whole life in denial. They got that Frank Sinatra. They do it their way, but their way don't work because they ain't them. It is nothing but an imitation of life because it's not yours. And has anyone given consideration that the reason that you're going through what you're going through is because the message is God's got something better. So he's not going to allow you to squander it, your blessing. But people do. They do it all the time. That's why you got that person at work today. They bitter. They just walked on, they just came on work and they pissed off every day. Or they're that person that no matter what you say, it's not good enough. But they won't do the work. but they're always there to reap the benefit. Who am I talking to? So explain to me again why you don't deserve to have your life. Explain to me again why you don't feel that you are worthy of the investment. Explain to me again why you're doing time in your mind. You shouldn't be saying coulda, woulda, shoulda. Why? Don't you realize God is so good? He brings people in your life only for you to see their true value and how they played the moment that you stop. So what's keeping you from falling back in love with you? Because tell the truth, there ain't no love there in your environment. You know that. Maybe you are supposed to be the matriarch of your family. So you're going through a lot of stuff. But you're starting to see it made you a better person. But you saw it because that's the price of truth. So what is your truth? Can you look that person in the mirror and tell that person that you love you, that you're going to change, you ready to grow, or do you feel ashamed, or you can't even fix your mouth to tell you why, oh you, that you deserve to be happy? Because let me tell you something, y'all. Until you take the road less traveled, will you understand the journey of it all? And I'm going to tell you what, don't get sidetracked, don't get caught up, because there are going to be many of people that are going to try to convince you to stay the course. What's your heart say? What's that little boy or little girl that lives inside you tell you every night? If anything, you deserve, you're doing it for them, because you may not realize this. You saw the world a certain way when you had that twinkle in your eyes. You can get that back. And there are going to be things that are going to test your direction. There are going to be things that are going to make you want to second guess yourself. But just know this, as long as you put God first in everything you do, the things you do not know, the things you do not see, you'll be protected from. And the things that you need to know will be revealed to you in the intended time. But guess what? You're going to have some people that will share the sentiment of I'm born to die. You wasn't brought on this planet to take up air and eat. You're here for a reason. Each one teach one. Because you got to remember, your life is an experience. It's a journey. It will become your testimony and your legacy. But more importantly, those who are connected to your life, they're going to also come behind your path. Maybe your experience is going to be a testimony to educate them on what not to do. You can't buy peace of mind. You see it all the time. You see it. You can tell, like, you see her, you're like, that ain't her car. She driving someone's car. You heard. Guys do it too. You riding that girl's car. You knew her. You only known her for a week, but you see no connection between you and the steering wheel because that's not yours. You can't possess something that does not rightfully belong. And the result on that is it goes away. No matter how hard you try to stay the course. It comes when you stay the course, it just gets more painful until you have no choice but to let it go. That's where that let go, let God comes from, y'all. But I'm not gonna run my mouth anymore. I just want to touch base with each and every one of you and just let you know everything's gonna be all right. Maybe those what you perceive as nightmares are really nothing but revelations. That's how synchronicity works. So I need you to love you. I need you to finally give yourself permission. How about give yourself permission to be in tune with your emotions? See, the moment that you are in tune with your emotions, guess what happens? It aligns your psyche, it corrects your perceptions, and it also instills value in who you really are. So, do you know who you really are? Because if you did, you would do the work. Don't worry about everything else. God's got that under control. And just as quick as they came, just as quick they'll be removed. But just know there are people that you are tied to spiritually that do not have access to you because there's a soul tie there. There's a shackle there. You know, fear. Finally, everything's a reality. That's why if you're living somewhere and it feels like I don't want to go home, it's because it's not your home. And maybe that's the reason why you're not at peace. Gotta remember something, y'all. Opportunists love impulsive people. You know why? Because the longer they are not grounded, the more footing they get. So as I said, opportunists does not need your help to expose themselves. But it is your responsibility to see what is being shown. God is praying for you. You know I am. I see your worth. And for that, it helps me discern mine. You're going to start to see a lot of people come out the woodwork with the intent to sway your judgment. Because, see, they know if I can get you here, if I can get that beautiful mind, it's just a moment before they can get you to do, act, and say what was there the whole time. Pain shouldn't be one of them, y'all. Have the courage. Fall back in love with you. Don't worry about those people. If they don't see your worth now, they will in the intended time because you'll be made new. And isn't that what the payoff is always about? You being blessed.